This is 13 WMAZ Eyewitness News at 11.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Tom George. Tonight, we begin with a focus on the immigration issue here in the United States. Communities all across the country have held visible and vocal protests in an effort to prevent busloads of illegal immigrants from being transported into their communities. One protest against the immigration movement has used citizens taking to interstate overpasses to get the word across. And that protest made its way to Macon today. I got a chance to talk with some of the participants who were getting the attention of drivers all along I-75. Their message to the government is to deport anyone in this country illegally.
Well, the most positive is honking. Do you hear the honking?
Honking, thumbs up, thumbs down.
All that honking was for Overpasses for America, bringing its national campaign to drivers along I-75.
Made my sign last night. I got out here this morning.
As the president and lawmakers in Washington work on a solution to address security at the border with Mexico, citizens across the country are exercising their First Amendment right to protest.
There's not a country in the world that just opens their borders to anybody. And so that's why we're here.
Earlier this week, Governor Nathan Deal sent a letter to President Obama expressing what he feels is the failure of the Obama administration to inform all states, not just Georgia, that the unaccompanied minors would be coming, saying, quote, "We don't know where these children are being sent, how long they will reside in our state, or who they are even residing with while they are in our state." But the governor says this is only part of the bigger issue of border control.
If you look at the statistics coming out of Homeland Security, the unaccompanied minors constitute only 15 to 20% of the overall group of individuals who have crossed the border.
Even though this is a divisive topic, some of the protesters say they understand why people are leaving their home countries to come to America.
Process those individuals who are truly coming for escaping cartels and weeding out the drug lords. Immigration is fine. Just do it the right way.
The leaders of some cities across the nation, such as Atlanta, have decided to welcome the immigrants with open arms, but other communities have passed ordinances to block them from taking up residence in their towns. Well, people across the country are keeping their eyes on Emory University in Atlanta. For the first time, a patient with Ebola is being treated in the United States. And 2 more patients are scheduled to arrive in Atlanta as they've been diagnosed with Ebola, a disease they spent their life's work helping others to overcome. It's believed that one of those patients who arrived today is Dr. Kent Brantley. Even though his condition is critical, he was able to walk from the ambulance to his treatment center at Emory. Brantley works with Samaritan's Purse, a Christian humanitarian group working to help others who are suffering from Ebola in West Africa. Ryan Kruger with our sister station in Atlanta, WXIA, takes a look at why Emory was chosen and what doctors have planned to treat the patients on their way to the facility.
Now that Dr. Brantley has arrived here at Emory University Hospital, a team of doctors and nurses will work around the clock to treat the side effects of the Ebola virus. He's housed in a special isolation unit, one of only 4 in the country, and part of the reason why Dr. Brantley was brought here to Atlanta. The room was created 12 years ago. It's essentially a mini hospital, complete with a lab and anything else the medical team will need. Dr. Jay Varkey works in the infectious disease unit.
I can't think of a better place in the world other than Emory University Hospital to care for this patient.
Word spread last week that the 2 American citizens infected with the deadly Ebola virus would be coming to Emory University Hospital. But as Dr. Varkey puts it, his team has been training for years.
We are ready. We are looking forward to trying to help this patient and assist his family in any way possible. The good part about it is that the preparations go beyond 48 hours. This is something we've actually been practicing for the 12 years that our unit's been involved.
The special isolation unit has been used in the past, including in 2005 for patients with SARS. Dr. Varkey says the patients' families will not be able to visit the patients, but they will be able to see them.
The room is designed in a way that there will be no direct contact, but it is designed in a way where family can see the patient and communicate with the patient.
The doctors and nurses here at Emory University Hospital continue to stress that they know how to prevent this virus from spreading.
A second patient, Nancy Wrightball, will be transported to America next week. More than half of the people who have contracted Ebola in this most recent outbreak have died.
Today was a little bit on the cloudy side when we kept our temperatures down in the 70s, and it looks like cooler weather continues as we head into the week. So here's the headlines. Could see some patchy fog tonight, especially in the areas that saw rain earlier today. Below average temperatures continue through the week, and it looks like rain chances will also continue as well. Checking out the current temperatures across central Georgia, temperatures generally in the low to mid 70s, and they're not going to change that much overnight, so it's going to stay mainly around 70 tonight. And checking out the satellite and radar, looking at Doppler Max HD, as you can tell, we're just locked in with a lot of clouds across the area. Most of the shower activity is to our south and east. But earlier this week, forecasters said the hurricane season in the Atlantic would be below average again this year, but there were some activity in the tropics this week. It is August, and we typically do see tropical activity start to blossom during these couple of months. Tropical storm Bertha hit south of Puerto Rico today, unleashing heavy rain, strong winds, knocking out power for the islands in the eastern Caribbean, and it dropped 3 to 5 inches of rain for many parts of Puerto Rico, and it put up to 8 inches on some areas. Right now, it's currently heading towards the Dominican Republic tonight. And checking out the graphic, as you can tell, here's the storm, Tropical Storm Bertha, 45 miles per hour. It's rather disorganized. It's over land. It's encountering some dry air, so it's not the healthiest storm right now. Checking out where it's moving, it's not going to really affect the U.S. It's going to stay well to our east. It's going to push around the Bahamas as a minimum tropical storm, and if it holds together, it could become a hurricane as it pushes off across the northeast coast. But here's the cool thing I wanted to show you. This is an image from NASA from earlier today, and you can sort of see where Bertha is right there on the bottom right-hand side of your screen, and also to the north and west. There's that little tropical low I highlighted. Now that right there might actually be a player in our weather tomorrow, and I will talk to you more about that later on in the show.
All right, thanks, Matt. We'll get a little bit more details about what to expect here in Central Georgia in just a few minutes. A local boxer is suffering from a broken jaw as well as a few other injuries after he was the victim of a hit-and-run car accident on Thursday. Paula Rotondo went to the scene of the accident this morning and has more.
At first, I thought, in reality, I thought he was dead.
Close by neighbor Betty Young says that was her initial thought when she ran outside Thursday afternoon. She was running out to Malik Montgomery, who was lying on the ground bleeding after a car had struck him and drove off.
How can you hit a person and not even stop?
Malik was on his daily training run, the same run he's done for the past 7 years, stretching around 5 miles from his house, eventually coming back down Grand Avenue where the accident occurred at Brookdale Avenue. What remains are shattered pieces of the car like this, the shirt that was ripped off of him, and blood still visible on the road, all leaving him with multiple injuries.
Broken jaw, they haven't quite figured out what's wrong with my leg, but we assume that it's probably a fracture. I hit the back of my head on the concrete, so they ended up having to put staples in my head.
Malik has been boxing for many years and even won a national Golden Glove for boxing back in May. But his father Michael says boxing might have to take a break depending on how severe the injuries turn out to be.
As a father, you know, if the doctor says he can't fight anymore, I'm not going to let him fight. That's just the way that is. I know he really wants to, but, you know, as his father, his health is more important to me.
Michael says he's played millions of scenarios in his head as to what might have happened, but he says he knows one thing for sure. Betty probably saved his son's life. Malik says he still has a lot of recovering to do, but says he's ready to hear when he can jump back in the ring.
I just can't wait till we have the surgery on Monday and see where they go from there, because I'm going to try to box regardless.
Michael and Betty, along with the rest of the community, are hoping whoever hit Malik will turn themselves in. In Macon, Paula Rotondo, 13 WMAZ Eyewitness News.
Michael says Malik is scheduled for surgery on Monday to repair the broken jaw. Lieutenant Sean Defoe from the Bibb County Sheriff's Office tells us they're looking for the suspect's vehicle. It's a blue Nissan that's missing a side view mirror. Well, some students have already returned to the classroom, but others have yet to prepare for the school bells to ring. One church is helping students begin a new school year with quite a boost. Heritage Church and Cross Keys United Methodist Church in Macon held a back-to-school gospel explosion and giveaway. The church is trying to encourage kids before they head back to school. Organizers say it's important to mentor the youth and teach them to reach for higher goals. Along with the concert, the church also gave away free haircuts and gift cards. Pastor Duranice Pace says that a student's attitude is everything and can open doors in their future.
Be kind, be nice, take time to encourage somebody, because Galatians 6 and 7 let us know that be not deceived, God is not mocked. Whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. And so if you sow kindness, kindness will come back. If you sow love, love will come back.
There was a total of $1,000 in door prizes from local businesses given out to the students. And in Perry today, it was the annual Back to School event sponsored by the Soul Project in Perry. Soul stands for Sharing Our Unconditional Love. The one-day party with a purpose started with a dream from Gloria Johnson and her husband. It's evolved into a community project to help feed the kids in the Old Field community while they have fun and get much-needed school supplies, clothing, and shoes to start the school year off on a good note. But there is also a message in today's gift, a message of love.
Right now, we're going in our pocket and making this a success. And this year, like I said, with the help of the City of Perry and different people, we made this much bigger and better today. It's also to instill values in them about their school teachers and being respectful and letting them know that somebody loves them and care about them and want what's best for them.
More than 100 kids attended today's event in Perry. If you would like to donate to the Soul Project, you can call Gloria Johnson at 478-508-2442. Again, that's 508-2442. Well, there's a new first in Macon, but this one is for a slightly younger crowd. We'll have the information on First Saturdays when Eyewitness News at 11 continues. Stay with us.